Yes. Yes. Yes, why don't I put you into program practices, and you can hash it out with them. How's that? Absolutely. Yes. And Merry Christmas to you. And may every car on your lot rust in the next freezing rain.
Who was that?
A word from our sponsor. Are you fingering those files because they're written in Braille or what?
No, ma'am. I was just...
You were just what?
Well, I was just trying to figure out if now was a good time to tell you. Oh, I don't think now is a good time.
Rhonda Sue, I am mad at the man who sells used cars and thinks he's an authority on politics. I am not mad at you. Now, what's on your mind?
Well, I had my meeting with the man from Nashville, and it was all just like a dream come true. And he heard me sing, and he wants to introduce me to a coach who'll help me with my phrasing.
And what else?
Beg pardon?
What else is he going to help you with besides a coach? I mean, has he asked you for money yet?
Oh, no, ma'am, that'll come later. If the good Lord smiled on me and I get a real life-paying job. I can't imagine that people would pay me just to sing. But Mr. Byers says it'll happen before the year's out.
Well, make sure Mr. Byers doesn't ask you for money before you get a job.
Oh, no, ma'am, but he does want me to sign a contract.
Not before my lawyer looks it over. Is that a deal?
Yes, ma'am, that's a deal, Miss Wyatt. I sure do thank you for looking out for me like this.
It's a pleasure. Now, where is that letter from the cable people?
Oh, sure thing. Oh, now, Miss White, can I ask you one more favor?
Yes?
It's about the party at your house. First of all, I hope you don't mind. I'm going to have to leave a little early because my brother's coming to have a little Christmas with me, and I have to go to the station to pick him up.
Which one?
Well, the bus station over
No,
on...
honey, which brother?
Marlin.
I don't know how you keep them all separated. Sure, you can leave early. I'm delighted to have you for as long as you can stay.
Thanks. And could I mean, I know the invitation didn't say anything about bringing an escort.
You may bring Ringo, Rhonda Sue. It's Christmas. I can afford to be generous.
Oh, Miss White, you are the great. You're just the greatest.
Will you please get back to work?
Yes, ma'am. I will. Oh, my gosh, there's one more thing.
How many more things can there be?
The floor manager called 10 minutes ago and said Miss Adamson didn't show up to go over a copy for the newscast yet.
What? Well, she was due here 30 minutes ago.
I know.
Well, find her. Call the Herald. Maybe she's stuck over there. If she is, I'm going to have her hide and Lloyd Kendall's, too. I will not tolerate unprofessional behavior, and lateness particularly.
Yes, ma'am. I'll start calling right away. Oh, Miss Sentell, hello.
Rhonda Sue. Stephanie, I'd like to speak with you. Especially now since I've read most of the material you sent over.
Oh, well, I'd like to do that, but I have a meeting with my lighting director right now.
That's not for another 2 hours, Miss White. I think you're free as a bird right now.
Thank you, Rhonda Sue. Whatever in the world would I do without you? Have a seat, Liza.
Thank you. Don't mind if I do.
I know this doesn't help much, Sonny, but I really feel terrible about
You
this.
were only doing your job, Brian.
Yeah, well, it's probably only for an hour or so anyway, right? I mean, you can have a big laugh about this later.
Right.
Okay, so you hang loose and don't worry about a thing.
Don't worry about me. I'll be fine.
Okay.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye. Hi. I didn't realize they were going to put someone else in here with me. I'm really relieved. I thought maybe I was going to have to sit this one out alone. I'm Sonny Adamson. Actually, I've seen a lot worse than this. I mean, we're not exactly in Alcatraz, are we? But it's always so cold in here. You know, I'd love to take my coat off, but I'm afraid I'd freeze to death. Not that I'm going to be in here long enough to freeze to death, heaven forbid. You see, I'm supposed to be spending Christmas with my family. And the way I figured, even if I were to get out tomorrow, I'd still have to go home and pack and change my reservations. Cutting off the clothes. You know, maybe I should call my boss over this...
Hey!
What? I'm sorry. What?
Look, Bunny, you seem like a nice kid.
No, my name is Sonny. What's your name?
Shirley. The thing is, Sonny, I got a few problems of my own, you know what I mean? And I don't think I want to sit here and listen to you talk about yours. Okay?
Okay. I'm sorry. I really am. I was jabbering, wasn't I? I do that a lot when I get nervous, and today I'm very nervous, so if I'm being a little insensitive, please forgive me. I'm sure that you do have problems of your own. Would you like to talk about them?
No.
Oh, I didn't think so. Yeah, you know, I guess we all need time to think things over privately. I do that a lot myself late at night. You know, sometimes after work I come home and I sit and think about, sort of meditate about things that happened during the day, mistakes I made, things like that. So hopefully I won't make them again. It's very helpful. It makes me feel good. And I guess in some strange way, that's what rehabilitation's all about. It's kind of a time when you can sit alone and think.
Hey!
Yeah, okay, you want me to shut up. You want me to shut up. I will. I'll shut up.
Eliza, you'll forgive me if I seem a little distracted. I've just been informed that Sonny Adamson isn't here. She has a newscast to do. As a matter of fact, I should run down to the studio and see if she's got...
I'm sure they'll let you know the minute she gets here.
Well, I would hope so, but you know...
I'm sure they will, Stephanie. Let's get started, shall we? Now, look, there's no sense putting me off on this. You and I are going to have some straight talk about evening programming. This is too important to me. I'm not going to forget it. I want to talk about evening programming. I'm very distressed about prime time. I'm wondering if you're just too busy with your duties to have a chance to screen things personally.
Liza, most of prime time is network reruns. Why should I screen something that's already aired? Besides, I thought of most of it the first time around anyway.
Stephanie, it's all violence. I mean, it's the same car chases, the same explosions, the same murders. Perhaps you don't realize how similar all the programs are.
Now, what you consider violent, what other people find exciting, might be two different things. Our ratings are up.
Just because they watch doesn't necessarily mean they like it. Could be that they just don't have a choice. I think Channel 6 should give them a choice.
Do you?
I do. And very soon.
Well, I disagree. This station is making money for the first time in years. We must be giving the public what they want.
I'm certain I'm not the only one who would appreciate an alternative. Now, look, I'm not suggesting you scrap the entire evening schedule, but I do think there's room for change.
Liza, I had hoped I wouldn't have to be this blunt about this, but I run a very complex, high-pressure business here. I don't have time to sit here and humor somebody as inexperienced as you are.
I have as much experience as you ever had when you started here a very short time ago, and I will match my best instincts with you at any time. Stop treating me like a dilettante. I own half this station, and you're going to listen to me whether you like it or not. Now, sit down and relax, Stephanie. I'm going to outline a few changes for the 8 o'clock
She's
time.
in jail.
Who is?
Miss Adamson. I just got the call.
Well, what's she doing there? Has everybody around here lost their minds? Which jail is she in? The county facility downtown?
Yes, ma'am. Mr. Kendall's lawyer is trying to get her out.
Well, come on. I gotta go get her.
Wait a minute, I'm coming with you.
But I thought you said you spoke to Aunt Florence a couple weeks ago.
I did, but she didn't know how ill she was. Then I guess she didn't want to worry me unnecessarily.
I guess things must have gotten pretty serious for her to tell you now.
Yes, I'm afraid that's true.
So that means that we're going to have to leave after Christmas? How long are we supposed to stay?
Well, as long as she needs us, sweetheart. I can't tell you that right now.
You mean we might have to go to school there and everything?
That's a possibility. I just haven't thought that far ahead.
I guess that means that the wedding's postponed for a little while, then.
Yeah, I guess it does, Josh, but it's gonna happen as soon as we get through all this.
Listen, I'm so sorry to spring this on you right in the middle of the holidays.
But you didn't plan for this to happen, Mom.
Of course
You
you
know
did.
that.
Now, look, we're all gonna help your mother and Aunt Florence by being as patient and as understanding as we can, right?
Sure.
So, I think I'll start by feeding you all. It seems to me I invited you all for lunch, right?
And I'm going to help.
Me too. The kitchen's nice and peaceful nowadays. Now that there are no customers.
Right, you can actually hear yourself think.
Well, I guess this is, what they call a sudden blast, huh?
Yeah, pretty sudden.
Yeah. Of course, it's like you said, your mom really didn't choose this, did she?
No, but I don't know how the timing could have been worse.
I know. Just when we were all starting to get to know one another.
Yeah, but I was actually thinking about my mother. She's worked so hard all her life, especially since my dad left. I don't think she ever expected to find another man. It just wasn't in her plans. So when she met Stu and really started to care for him, it was like this totally unexpected gift. It made her so happy. And I really hate seeing anything take away from that happiness. I just hate it.
Hey, things are gonna work out, though, you know? As she and Granddad, hey, they're gonna be together.
I know, but it would be nice for Mom not to have to struggle for once. She's had so much of that.
But she's had some good breaks, too, you know. She's got you, a daughter who loves her and appreciates what she's done.
Yeah, and he's been a pain in the neck the rest of the time.
I don't think that's how she looks at it. Hey, I think she sees you like I see you. A beautiful young lady who's compassionate enough to think about somebody other than herself.
Do you like what you see?
Very much.
People believe that the electric light is as dark as a tomb in here.
It's incredible.
What, Sonny, is going on? What are you doing in here?
Oh, I don't know. I thought it might be a wild place to spend Christmas.
Now, I'm serious, and you have a newscast to do. This is no time for publicity stunts.
This is not a publicity stunt.
This has Lloyd Kendall's name written all over. What are you doing, a piece on prison reform? You doing your research firsthand or something? For heaven's sakes, that's just his cheap kind of tactic.
Will you please shut up and let Sonny say something? Thank you, Liza. Stephanie, I'm here because I refuse to reveal a source for a series of stories I've been doing over at the Herald. The paper is backing me up, and they are trying to get me out. Do you have a lawyer? Yeah, Lloyd Kendall's handling that.
I'll bet.
Oh, come on, Stephanie. Let's not make a big deal out of this. I'm probably only going to be in here for a couple of hours.
Well, who am I going to get to do the evening news? Connie Chung?
I think that's least of Sonny's worries at this point.
Well, it isn't the least of mine. Unless I can get a camera crew in here. In here? I wonder if they'd let me do that.
Oh, do the newscast from in here. You talk about Lloyd Kendall's cheap tactics.
Don't tell me he doesn't have something to do with this.
He didn't have anything to do with it. I brought it all on myself, and I'd do it again.
Well, I'm going to go talk to him. I'm going to talk to everybody. We've got to get you out of here.
Listen, Stephanie, come on. This isn't doing Sonny any good by firing questions at her, all right?
I want to know who put you in here. Who did it?
A judge and a policeman.
I want names.
Well, you might know the policeman, actually. His name is Brian Emerson.
Time's your appointment with Judge Stearns?
20 minutes.
I want you to pull every string you've got, Garvey.
Now, you know I will.
Kendall, who are you?
Oh, this is my attorney, George Garvey. He's just on his way to the judge to see about getting Sonny out of jail.
Well, you might have seen that she didn't get into jail in the first place.
Well, excuse me, but it was Miss Adamson's decision to make contact with an informant. And she did not do so under orders from the executive staff of the Herald.
I was not talking to you.
I think you better get on with it, George.
Yeah. I'll let you know as soon as I find out anything.
All right, thank you.
As uncomfortable as Sonny may be, what am I going to do for an anchor this evening?
Why don't you give the news yourself? I don't think you'd even need a microphone. You're at the rate you're going.
I am upset. I want Sonny out of that cold, dark cell and in my nice, warm studio.
Well, don't look to me for any help about that. I think you probably have more clout in that matter than I do.
Talking about?
The arresting officer was your son. Well, good afternoon, Detective.
Afternoon.
What's gone out of your mind? What are you trying to do to Sonny?
Well, it wasn't my idea. And if you would think for a moment, you wouldn't be saying that to me. I was just following orders.
All right. Okay. Now, who do you know that you can talk to now? Because I need her. I need her for a couple of hours for the news this evening.
Oh, you mean so she could take a little coffee break from incarceration, but then come right back?
That's not what I meant.
Forget it, Stephanie. That's not the way it works. You see, the only way Sonny gets out is through legal means. And Mr. Kendall's lawyer and Tom Bergman are both working on that now. They're talking to the judge. Now, in the meantime, believe it or not, I have other cases I'm working on. I'll see you later, huh?
What good is it having a son on the police force?
Stephanie, why don't you let me take you to your office and see if I can help you figure out who you're going to have replace Sonny this evening, huh?
I ought to have Liza do it. Maybe that would shut her up.
Well, this is the last of it. Danny and Angela are going to have their work cut out for them.
You sure you don't need any help?
Oh, no. Here. Why don't you stay here? Hmm?
Well, you certainly haven't said very much since you got the news.
I don't know what to say.
Yeah. Disappointment kind of sticks in your throat. I know what you mean.
It's nobody's fault. I know that.
Well, of course you do.
We've moved before. I'll get used to it.
Don't make it sound so permanent. You're coming back, you know. You just don't know when.
I wish you could come with us, Stu.
Stu, what happened to calling me Dad?
Well, maybe I jumped the gun on that a little. I mean, now that everything's changed and all.
Come on, Josh. Nothing's changed. It's just postponed a little. And one thing definitely hasn't changed.
What?
The way I feel about you. I love you, you little monkey. I've gotten so used to your calling me Dad, I don't want to do without it, even for a little while.
I don't want to leave you, Dad.
Understand what is taking so long.
Oh, they're probably going through the governor for a pardon.
All right, look, I know you probably think I'm making a big deal out of this thing, but I just can't get used to the idea of spending Christmas in jail. And the whole thing is so unfair. I mean, all I was doing was my job.
Well, join the club, honey. What do you think I was doing?
Cleary. Oh, I am so glad to see you.
Well, I don't think that you're as glad as you think you are, I'm sorry to say.
What do you mean?
Garvey didn't score too well with your friend, the judge. I think the bench decided that the press has been getting away with too much lately, and they're going to make you the scapegoat.
So I'm here for the night.
Longer than that?
Unless you tell him who your informant is.
Oh. Do you think I should?
Well, you know, I've been giving that a lot of, yeah, I think that you ought to tell him. I mean, besides, you don't want to stay here. It's not worth it.
McCleary, can you look me in the eye and say that? No. You don't want me to give up any more than I do. And I'm not going to.
Congratulations. I knew you were tough enough to hold on.
So, where have you been all day? I thought you'd come a long time before you did.
Oh, you know, just around, usual work hassles and stuff. I've been trying to contact some old legal buddies, see if they could add a new angle to this thing, but no dice.
I appreciate your trying.
Yeah. Well, listen, I better go. They told me to make it short.
Okay. Will you come back tomorrow?
Wouldn't miss it. You know what I like about you, Sunshine, is you always take me to the best places. Listen, I want you to know that I really admire what you're doing. You hang in there.
He's cute. Sunshine?
Yep, that's me, good old Sunshine.
Well, I hate to say it, but it doesn't look like you're going to be getting too much of that in your Christmas, if you get my drift. Not too much sunshine at all.
Your paper, Mr. Kendall. You run it as you see fit.
You disagree with a lot I do, don't you?
Well, so do a lot of people, but doesn't seem to have much effect, does it?
No, it doesn't.